Welcome back to Neon Trash. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer, hanging out with Adam McDougal's, Amber, and Johnny Rocket. It is Amber's birthday pick on the channel. Amber, what have you brought to our stable tonight?
Kate and Leopold.
And what is Kate and Leopold?
It's like a rom-com with Hugh Jackman and Meg Ryan.
Sold.
Alright, any movie with Hugh Jackman,
Yeah,
I'm totally
Jackman,
sold.
you know?
Jack for Jackman, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright guys, without further ado, you guys know this routine, check out that motherfucking trailer. Amber, say it.
Keep that shit.
And when we get back, you guys are going to know our opinions on Kate and Leopold.
I really had to think about that.
A duke from the 19th century, a woman from the 21st. This Christmas,
I found a crack in the fabric of time.
worlds will collide.
So you must be Sergeant Pepper?
Meg Ryan,
He's from 1876.
Hugh Jackman,
Are you going to remove that?
Are you suggesting gentlemen lay hold of canine bowel movements?
I'm suggesting you pick the poop up now.
You're a trip.
Kate and Leopold. Rated PG-13. In theaters everywhere. Friday, December 25th.
Just got done watching Kate and Leopold, and man, I was not expecting anything. I mean, you expect the rom-com part of it, of course, but the way they go about it actually was fairly unique. Like, we open up with a great action sequence, we get a chase, and suddenly it's like sci-fi, like, it kind of, I don't know, as look at the dude watching it, like, hey, it pulled me right in, like, this is cool, whatnot, right? And at least set me up to kind of, you know, follow along with what's going on, and oh my gosh, you know, this guy's in the hospital, is he gonna get out? Like, I was suddenly sucked into this whole thing. It was like this, like, giant, like, I mean, like, a soap opera, like, condensed into one movie here.
Yeah, this was like one of four, and we all decided on this one. But I did really like this movie. It's Hugh Jackman is a fave. I have seen him in concert live twice. Great.
Thanks, that's
Huge Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
fan over here, so there you go.
Yes. He's super cool.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, I really liked it and thought it was cool, and it was pretty sci-fi, and there was some strange things happening, and yeah, I never really noticed. I don't know if I've seen it all the way through the first time, because I've seen bits of it before for sure. But yeah, the part about her sleeping with the great-great-great-grandson of the guy who she ends up, spoiler alert. But yeah, she like creates her own great-great-great-grandson and sleeps with him.
Yeah.
It's weird. That part's weird.
You know, it can, you know, what you got here, it's interesting that this movie was made at kind of the earlier part of the 21st century, you know, 2001, 2002, because this, I mean, it does feel a lot like an 80s movie. You know, you got the classic fish out of water situation comedy type of thing, you know, type situation rom-com. But so this is kind of like this movie in and of itself is kind of like a time capsule, even for like, I mean, God, it's been like, what is it? This is like 2001, 2002, and it's like it's hard to believe how much time has passed. But since then, this movie is in and of itself a throwback.
Between the likable characters, the you know, great acting, the genuine funny moments, and of course the sci-fi element, that is the backbone of this movie. If you didn't have the interesting angle, you remove the whole period piece element. It's just some, you know, namby-pamby New York rom-com about some guy getting the girl, losing the girl, getting the girl. You guys would have fallen off long before the movie ended. But with this film here, you stick with it to the end because there's a side of you that's like, where's this going? I'm somewhere between a 6.5 and a 7. I feel like this is not a 6.5 film because it's better than that fluff you find in theaters, but it also does connect the dots and feel a little predictable in elements.
Right there with you. I mean, yeah, sometimes some parts were, of course, as you would expect, a little formulaic. But ultimately, I mean, what ultimately makes this film for me is the performances and the fact that it gets you so into the storyline. It makes it brings you in. It gets you interested, which, you know, is something I, you know, would never have expected, you know, initially from thinking about Kate and Leopold. So I got into it, just like they get into each other. So ultimately, I think I can award this 7 out of 10.
Wow.
There it is.
Amber?
I don't know. I'd say this isn't something that I'd be like, oh, let me watch it over and over again. I mean, if it were just Hugh Jackman doing his monologues, maybe.
There you go.
His voice is so relaxing.
Oh, and it was great in the movie.
Like,
yeah.
Hearing
him do the dialogue.
He like talks right into the camera. He's just doing his monologue, and he's like.
The fake commercials.
Yeah, the fake commercials.
They're so good.
They're hilarious.
So good.
That would get a 10. But I don't know. I'd say this 7.
Ooh.
I see this. I see a rom-com, even with Hugh Jackman. Okay, you know, this is not my wheelhouse. Folks. Like, this is not the kind of thing I'm just gonna pop in. Like, you know, my the kids out of the house. Like, I watch a flick here. Let me go ahead and pop on Kate Lee. No. But, you know, sitting down, I was like, hey, you know, let's go ahead and give us a chance. Like, I do love Hugh Jackman. Like, let's see, he's gonna, you know, act out this character. Like, this seems like it'd be right in his wheelhouse, and it is. Like, I mean, he probably had an absolute blast making this movie. Like, and so, like, this is probably like so fun for him. You know, you see that very easily. You know, and this, you know, it started off, you know, good. It did draw me in right away, you know, with the action, like with the sci-fi element. Like, okay, let's see where this goes. This is a fresh enough idea that it got me interested enough that I was then able to sit through the rest of the regular rom-com formulaic tropes and whatnot. You know, guys get the girl, losing the girl, in the whole 9 yards, you know, and that's setting in New York City, blah, blah, blah. You know, and so it was, I don't know, it really did kind of like, yeah, and you do have to, you know, look over a lot of things here and there. For as long as it was, there were still so many ideas that weren't quite fully fleshed out. You know, so this movie does have its flaws, but I will still give this movie a 7.5 because I was entertained by it. Wow. And I mean, you still had that Hollywood budget, so you had wonderful settings and costumes and everything.
Well, Amber, happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing
birthday pick there, Amber.
Such a fun flick to the old Neon Trash studio. I hope it's been informative. Until the next time, guys, tune in to Neon Trash. Good night, folks.